Breaking news. A dramatic event has unfolded that could alter strategic dynamics in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Ukrainian operatives reportedly planted a bomb on the $3.5 billion Crimea Bridge. That explosion, in turn, led to serious damage and sent shockwaves not just across the strait but through the geopolitical calculation of both sides. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Future X USA channel. If you're new here, please subscribe and like this video so you never miss a major update. A quick summary before we go deeper. The bridge in question is the Kerch Strait Bridge, built by Russia as a physical and symbolic link between the mainland and annexed Crimea, with an estimated cost of $3 billion. It was meant to serve both civilian and military logistics, carrying road and rail traffic across the strait. According to reports, Ukraine managed to infiltrate or otherwise equip a sabotage operation that placed an explosive device somewhere beneath or on the structure. The explosion damaged part of the roadway, maybe rail infrastructure, possibly weakened defense and disrupted supply chains. Russia responded with investigations, repair operations, and heightened security. This event highlights vulnerabilities in what was supposed to be an unbreachable supply route. What follows is a detailed breakdown. We'll examine the exterior, the visible parts and structure, then take a quick look into how the bridge works inside, assess its performance before and after the attack, discuss safety and security measures, consider what makes this bridge uniquely important. Review what the cost implies, and finish with what this means longer term. From the outside, the Crimea Bridge was always imposing. Stretching some 19 kilometers, it reaches across open water, marshes, and shifting seas. Massive pylons rise out of the strait bed, reinforced concrete and steel beams knit together to hold both a highway and a railway line. The arches and spans were built to resist the pounding of weather, storms, even ice flows in winter. On either side, approach roads feed into the bridge, merging with checkpoints and security zones. The scale was always part engineering marvel, part political statement. This bridge was meant to broadcast permanence and control. Even before the explosion, its outward appearance sent a message: a solid, sturdy conduit for power, military or civilian, unbroken. That's the exterior. Long spans, dual-use lanes, heavy materials, massive supports, and visual dominance over the strait below. Inside, though, there are hidden systems. Under the surface of the road lanes lie steel reinforcement, pillars embedded in concrete, sensors, lights, drainage, rail tracks alongside the vehicular carriageways. The bridge includes structural supports deep underwater, reinforced to manage both weight and environmental stresses. It carries not only trucks, cars, civilian traffic, but also trains, freight, and potentially military. There are electrical systems, signaling, lighting, maintenance walkways, and inspection points. All of this is designed for continuous operation day and night to keep traffic flowing even in rough conditions. The interior mechanical and structural complexity is high, and though I'm keeping this part brief, it matters because damage inside or beneath can ripple outward, undermine stability, reduce throughput, and risk collapse or long-term strain. Before the attack, the performance of the bridge was such that it had become an essential artery. Tens of thousands of tons of goods, fuel, equipment, and supplies moved across it every day. Military convoys made use of it. Logistical supply for operations in and around Crimea and southern Ukraine flowed over it. It functioned as both a symbolic and practical connector, civilian traffic including trade, tourism, and commerce, as well as strategic movement. The bridge's uptime was generally high, though Russia always claimed strong maintenance. After the explosion, performance dropped. Certain lanes had to close, possibly rail lines were disrupted, inspections slowed traffic, detours, or safety restrictions imposed. The result was delays, reduced capacity, higher costs for moving goods and materials, and for military purposes, more risk and longer routes. In short, the bridge no longer delivered what it was supposed to without interruption. Security and safety features were heavy: surveillance, patrols, checkpoints, anti-drone systems, marine patrol underneath and around, maybe sensors to detect tampering or explosives, camera systems. Structural redundancies were built in. It wasn't just a single span, but multiple supports so that damage to a part wouldn't bring down the whole. There may have been radar or sonar detection of underwater threats, lighting and regular inspections. After the sabotage, however, it became clear that some security gaps existed, either in oversight, in physical security in certain vulnerable points, or intelligence. The fact that such an attack could happen suggests that certain assumptions about risk, about detection, about access were flawed. Post-attack, the authorities likely increased patrols, added reinforcement, raised checks, maybe closed off less visible access zones, maybe updated sensors. What makes this bridge uniquely important is several things. First, there is no alternative route of comparable directness. To supply Crimea or move heavy equipment, bypassing this bridge is costly in time, risk, and distance. Second, it serves both civilian and military purposes, roads plus rail, making it doubly strategic. Third, it was built as much for symbolism as for utility, a statement of dominance, of control, of permanence. Destroying or damaging it is not merely physical damage, but psychological and political. Fourth, its size and cost mean that its loss or even temporary disablement represents huge investment risk. The $3.05 billion price tag meant that Russia had every reason to protect it, and Ukraine every reason to target it. The bridge's unique selling point, if you will, was that combination: civilian use, military use, distance economies, symbolic strength, one-of-a-kind infrastructure in that region. The cost itself, $3.05 billion, is enormous. That encompasses materials, engineering challenges, building over water, over a strait in harsh weather, labor, security during construction, ongoing maintenance. When you invest that much, you expect durability, resilience, continuous function. Repairing damage from sabotage becomes expensive and time-consuming. Downtime isn't just lost traffic, but lost economic efficiency, higher logistical burdens elsewhere, ripple effects into supply chains. Also, cost factors into how the attacker values the target. The more expensive something is, the more symbolic its damage, the greater psychological impact, the more propaganda value. In conclusion, this incident at the Crimea Bridge reveals something fundamental about infrastructure in conflict zones. No matter how massive, no matter how well-built, vulnerabilities remain, and attackers can exploit them. Before the explosion, the bridge was functioning at peak or near-peak efficiency, carrying both civilian and military loads, strengthening Russia's supply chains and its hold on Crimea. Damage disrupted that, imposed delays, forced changes in routes, raised costs, and exposed flaws in security and oversight. Going forward, the repairs will need to be swift, the security tighter, the surveillance more thorough. The symbolic cost is already paid. Now comes the real-world cost in logistics and strategy. For Ukraine, this is a blow against Russian strength. For Russia, a wake-up call that even flagship projects are not immune. Thank you for watching this deep dive into what happened on the Crimea Bridge, how and why. Don't forget to like this video, share it with friends, and hit subscribe so you stay updated. I'll see you in the next one.